the concept of wilayat, of what wilayat is, then the person will naturally and automatically believe in imamat. There is no other choice other than believing in the imams. If a person understands what wilayat is and why wilayat have been emphasized so much in the Quran. Now, this is what we want to go on a journey of discussing what wilayat is, what its meaning. Does wilayat really exist or doesn't it really exist? If wilayat exists, how can one achieve to the position of wilayat? Now, what first and foremost would be, what are the different meanings of this wilayat? And one of the lessons to be taken from is that each and every one of us is waliullah potentially. We are all waliullah to the maximum capacity potentially. Even if we are not waliullah in that sense of spirituality and manaviya, but still we are wali of Allah. Are we not friends of Allah? Is Allah not friends of us? That's wilayat. We are wali, right? So now let's look at the meaning and definition of wilayat that is there. What does wilayat mean? Wilayat comes from the root word walaya, waw, lam and ya. And it takes different, forms in Arabic. For example, it takes a plural form, singular form, for instance. That's why there are about 233 times in the Quran the word walaya have been used. Awliya, Mawla, all comes from the same root word from alaykum salam wa rahmatullah, from walaya. Now what does it really mean? It means that when there are two things next to each other without any gap, that is considered to be in the wali of each other, considered as having wilayat, meaning being close to each other. That's what wali means. Something that is close to each other in a way that there is no gap, they are wali of each other. And that is why, now this closeness, it could be zamani or makani, manavi or maddi, meaning that it could be from a point of view of time, that one event after the other event, mawalat, as we say, so same word, wilaya, one after the other, something happened one after the other. That is called mawalat, which means that there was no gap between each other. Then that is considered to be having wali, being close. Wilaya means nearness. Wali means something that is very near. That's why from the same concept comes wali as a friend, because a friend is very near and dear to each other. Two friends are near and dear to each other. That's why they are known as wali, because they are close to each other. Now there are different formation or classification of this wilayat. Sometimes this closeness, as we said, wilayat means closeness. This closeness is a closeness where it is bilateral or reciprocal, meaning that, for example, I am your wali, you are my wali. We are, bilateral on the same level. We are close to each other. As wilayat means closeness, we are close to each other. You are my wali, I am my wali. We are close to each other. Now, yes, there may be a distance in terms of the makan, because you are sitting there, I am sitting here. Or I am in England, you are in America. But still we are wali. But still we are close. Still we have wilayat with each other. It's a bilateral relationship. It's heart to heart. We are friends of each other. But from the point of view of the makan, from the point of view of the space, we are far from each other. For example, now, Brother Hussein is sitting near the divider, right? There's a wilayat there. Brother Hussein is near the wall, and the wall is near Brother Hussein. But what type of wilayat is this? It is unilateral, it's one-sided, because only Brother Hussein knows that he is near the wall. The wall doesn't know that it is near Brother Hussein. There is wilayat, but there's one-sided wilayat, right? But it's still called wilayat because wilayat means nearness, right? It is a form of nearness. Now, this means that there could be distance between two realities, two domains, but they may be very close to each other. And it could be also mean that one could be very close to something, but there is, there's a lot of distance in there because it's only one-sided, right? Now, so we so far talked about three different classifications of wilayah, three different types of. One is where, like a friend, very bilateral, equal relationship. Sometimes even this equal relationship could be, distant apart, but still we are close because it is manavi, it is spiritual, right? It is not physical, As a lexical meaning of wilayat means nearness, whether this nearness be physical, whether this nearness be spiritual, right? So it means nearness. Now, the other thing that we said is that this wilayat is, for example, I am near a wall and wall is near me, but I have the shu'ur and understanding that I am near the wall, but the wall doesn't have, because the wall does not have the capacity to understand that there is wilayat here, but there is some sort of wilayat there. Then the other type of wilayat is something that is univocal, meaning that something which is izafe ishraqi, as they say in the Arabic and philosophy term, which means that it has a higher nearness to the lower, rather than horizontal, but rather vertical. Like, for example, the wilayat of a father over the children. He's a wali. But here, this wilayat is actually with a fatih lam. That's why it's known as a wali. There's wali with a kasra lam, and there is wali with a fatih lam, which is known as a governor. But that is also wilayat, like a father. He's the wali of this city. Wali, same root word, walaya. Wali means he's the governor. He has an authority, and he is near them, right? And are we also wali to them? No, we are not wali. Are we wali to them? We are not even wali to them, because wali is an equal relationship. Because a son or a child is not equal to the father. Father is the wali. Yes, I have a friend who is wali, So the wali is somebody who is higher and closer, right? But having said this wilayat that they have is different to the nearness or the wilayat of the wall to me, because wall doesn't have the shore, but I have the shore that he is my wali, right? So these are the different formation of wilayat that takes place in the conventional sense in our day-to-day activity. Now there's another, because what we said, wilayat means nearness. There's another type of nearness which is more powerful than all of this. And that nearness is the nearness of our body parts with ourself. My eyes and my eyesight is near me, is not near you. The rays of the sun to the sun, there is some sort of nearness there. There is rays of the sun and there is sun. There is me and my eyesight, right? There is me and my hearing, right? They are near to me, because wilayat, as we said, means nearness. Whether this nearness be two-sided, whether this nearness be from top to bottom, whether this nearness be one-sided, having an understanding that it's near or not near. But this is also a type of nearness, that my eyesight and me, it is near me. This eyesight is not near you. Your eyesight is your eyesight which is near you. So that is also wilayat. And I have wilayat over my eyesight because it's near me, right? So, or the sun rays or the sun. Now this sun rays is actually something that is izafa, something that is extra to the sun. And the existence of this sun rays is because of the sun, although it is wilayat. But the existence and the reality and the truth of the sun rays is because of the sun. Or my eyesight is because of me, the eyesight is there. But at the same time, there's a relationship of wilayat there, right? Because it is that close, that it has become one, and it is that near, which is known as wilayat. Now, just in the margin, that's why it says that وَمَا رَمَيْتَ إِذْ رَمَيْتَ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ رَمَى. Rasul, when you're shooting the arrow, it is not you, it is Allah shooting the arrow. So therefore, that nearness is that wilayat, which Rasulullah have, with the wujud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like the shadow, the shadow is not there unless I am there. The shadow follows me. Whatever I do, the shadow follows, right? But at the same time, is that wilayat is there. There's no gap between me and my shadow. That's we said that wilayat, the definition of wilayat is that nearness. So there's no gap in there. So when we're going to be reflecting upon the awliya, right, and the imams, those who uphold or those who are on the station of this wilayat, they are that close to God. That the will of Allah and the reflection of Allah is within them. They are the awliya. Now, as after defining, what wilayat is, and at the same time, when we define this is what wilayat means, do we see that this wilayat, does it exist in reality or not? This type of wilayat, we have conceptualized it. We have explained that, wilayat really means nearness. It is in this, we have given the examples. But in terms of a reality, it does exist. We see all of these different forms of wilayat existing, right? Now, when we reflect that when this wilayat is existing, right, we also find that the Quran talks about different types and forms of wilayat. Like, for example, when Quran talks about wilayat, Quran talks about the wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the creation. فَاللَّهُ هُوَ الْوَلِي. Allah is considered to be the wali. فَاللَّهُ. Allah is the wali. Is wilayat. Allah is near. And that's why, for example, as we find, it says, Allah is somebody who is much closer to you than your own jugular vein. So the closeness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so close that it says that, it's much closer than the jugular vein, as the verse of the Quran, which points out, نَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Nahnu, we are much closer than the own jugular vein. So what type of closeness is this? For example, yes, I am close to the wall. I have the understanding that I am close, but the wall doesn't have the understanding of that, right? Yes, the wall does not have the potentiality also to understand as such, but at least we have the potentiality to understand what wilayat is. We have defined wilayat. We are understanding what the concept is. So therefore, the kuffar, those who are the non-believers, those who do not believe in Allah, Allah says, I am closer to them than their own jugular vein, but they are far from Allah. So there's wilayat there existing from the point of view of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the point of view of them being close or having that sure and understanding that they are closer to Allah, that is not there. Right? So Quran talks about wilayat. This type of wilayat is pointed out in the wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is the wali. Like, for example, another verse says, مَا لَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ مِّن وَلِيٌّ وَلَا نَصِيرٌ. There is no helper and there is no wali other than Allah. Allah is the wali. Wali is one of the asma ilahi as well. Wali is one of the names of Allah as well, right? Because Allah is near and He is wali. Wallahu waliyul mu'minin. Allah is the wali of mu'minin. That means that Allah is near mu'minin. As we said, wilayat means something that is near. So Allah is near mu'minin. And then Allah also talks about in the Quran the wilayat of shaitan. فَزَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانِ أَعْمَالَهُمْ فَهُوَ وَلِيُّهُمْ. Shaitan beautifies the amal of theirs. They say, this is their amal, their actions, which are considered to be haram, for example. The shaitan makes it look very beautiful. Why? Because فَهُوَ وَلِيُّهُمْ. Because he is closer to them. Because he is wali of them. As he is wali of them, and as they are wali of shaitan, the shaitan makes these amal look very beautiful to them. So there's a wilayat of shaitani. So the Quran is trying to make us understand the concept of wilayat of Allah and the wilayat of shaitani. وَمَنْ يَتَّخِذْ الشَّيْطَانَ وَلِيًّا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. They have taken shaitan as their wali, min dunillah, other than Allah. The people have taken shaitan as their wali. So the concept of wilayat and that nearness also mentioned in the Quran from the category or classification of the wilayat shaitani. وَمَنْ يَتَّخِذْ شَيْطَانَ وَلِيًّا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَقَدْ خَسِرَ خُسْرَانًا مُبِينًا. And this is considered as an apparent loss. Khusran mubin. The khusran mubin is to take shaitan as a wali. Inna shayatina layuhiyuna ila awliyaihim liyajadilukum. The shayateen, they do wahi. Who to who? Ila awliyaihim. To their awliya. To their friends, the shayateen do wali. The shayateen do wahi to their awliya. So wilayat of Allah, wilayat of shaitan, and then the Quran talks about the wilayat of mu'mineen in the Quran. إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاء بَعْضٍ. Mu'mineen and mu'minat, believers, are wali of each other. They are near each other. They are friends of each other. What is wilayat? We said wilayat means that it is so close that there is no difference and there is no gap. Now obviously, mu'mineen we have in some other place, in some other makan. Can they be called? Can we say that they have wilayat? Yes, they have wilayat. Because wilayat is also manavi, not just makani. Right? It is also spiritual wilayat. Somebody who's very far, but very close to me, very dear to me, dear to my heart. So that's why the Quran says, Al-mu'minuna wal-mu'minat ba'azuhum awliya ba'az. يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ. They enjoin good and they prohibit evil. The awliya are like. Then the Quran also talks about wilayat kafiran, the wilayat of the infidels. And Quran have asked us not to take kuffar and mushrikeen as wali. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخُذُوا عَدُوًّا وَعَدُوَّكُمْ أَوْلِيَاءَ. O mu'mineen, do not take the enemies of Allah as your awliya. Do not take them as awliya. Do not consider do not be near them. Right? Now obviously this nearness, as we said, could be makani and it could be manavi. Yes, in terms of the makani, I may have somebody, for example, who is non-believer, who doesn't believe in God, but still he's, my colleague, he works with me, right? He's close to me, but this is not wilayat in that sense which the Quran is talking about, right? So in terms of me taking him as a wali, the way I take as a wali who is a believer, that shouldn't be there, right? Having said this should not allow us to be judgmental, Ya man yuti kasira bil qalil, ya man yuti man sa'ala wa man lam yas'al wa man lam ya'rif. Allah is near everybody. He's closer to everybody than the jugular vein. The amount of closeness that he has with me is exactly the same, the amount of closeness that he has with kuffar as well. It is me who realizes the existence of God and feel that presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's everywhere and he's close to everyone. Right? And Allah is someone who gives وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْأَلُهُ وَمَنْ لَمْ يَعْرِفْ. Allah is provider of rizq to those who know Him and those who do not know Him. Allah provides to them those who ask from Him and those who do not ask from Him. And that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Right? Yes, Allah is asking us, do not, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tattakhudhu. Do not take them. Adu and aduwakum awliya. Do not take them as your friends. But this doesn't mean that He's asking us to be judgmental. Right? Where on contrary, Prophet have said, تَخْلُقُ مِنْ أَخْلَاقِ اللَّهِ. Make your akhlaq like the akhlaq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way Allah is kind, the way Allah is caring to everybody, that's how we should be in terms of our care, in terms of our kindness, in terms of our human relationship with others. لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين. Mu'mineen should not take kafir in the place of a mu'min. There's a different account of a mu'min and there's a different account for a kafir. Right? Quran talks about the wilayat of kafir in the Quran. Right? Now, as Quran have talked about and also warned us about all of this different types of wilayat and nearness that it exists. Now, the point is that how this wilayat can be achieved for human beings, and where this wilayat can be achieved, as this nearness is there, whether that be nearness of Allah, whether that be nearness of mu'mineen or kuffar or shayateen. Where is the, what you call the loci, the point, the pivotal point where this wilayat can be manifested and can be achieved? And that is in no place other than insan. Human have that capacity to reflect, to understand, and to achieve wilayat. Right? As we said, the wall does not have the capacity. It is the human who have that capacity, that he can, like as we said, he is potentially waliullah. He is potentially waliullah to the highest level. On the zahiri level, on the outward level, also he is friend of Allah. He's close to Allah. We say qurbatan ilallah, Allahu Akbar, we pray salah. But in terms of that closeness, the closeness which we talked about, that for example, the rays and the sun, that type of closeness. So insan as a human being, he has the possibility and capability to really achieve that station of wilayat, and he is the beginning of that. Why? Because Allah is with him wherever he is. وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. The presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with him. And as a matter of fact, which we said the first day, not last night, the night before, this وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ, the understanding of this verse is that I am there because of Allah is there. If Allah is not there, there is no question of me. The presence of me, the existence of mine is because of existence of Allah. Not that, oh, okay, मैं जहाँ भी हूँ Allah मेरे साथ है. No, because Allah is there, I am there. There's no question that, oh, मेरे साथ Allah है. Not really. So my whole wujud and my existence is because of Allah. My whole presence is because of Allah Himself. Because of His presence, because of His tawajjuh, because of His focus, I am there. Now, if a person have this ma'rifat and this understanding, then where lies the question of sin? How can he commit a sin if he has this concept and this ma'rifat that his presence is because his wujud and his existence is dependent on the existence of Allah, right? So, insan, it is human being, who have the possibility to really achieve this maqam and level of wilayat. That's why the Quran says that Allah inna awliya Allah la khawfun alayhim wa lahum yahzanun. There are these awliya Allah, they are known as the waliullah, those who are closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For them they are la khawfun alayhim wa lahum yahzanun. They have no fear and they have no sorrow. As you all know that the concept of fear is in regards to the future, and the concept of sorrow, huzn, is in regards to the past. We are afraid of the future. We fear what will happen. But we are sad because of the past. What happened in the past, we have huzn and sorrow. But what is in the future, we have fear of that. Oh, something may happen. We don't become sad that something will happen in the future. No, we are afraid of that. But huzn is of the past. But the awliya are those people who have la khawf and wala hum yahzanun. They have no fear and they have no huzn. Why? Because they have achieved that station of wilayat. Now the question is that how can a person achieve that maqam of wilayat? And as a matter of fact, it is the journey of ours, of a human being, of an insan, is incomplete if he does not achieve the maqam of wilayat, it is necessary for him to achieve the maqam of wilayat. Now, either on a first level, he achieves this maqam of wilayat involuntarily, by force, by, for example, where he reaches death, where Allah is the closest, Allah is the true wali, and he is the wali, and the wali, and he has no power. It is only la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That is clearly reflected in a dead body. When you look at a corpse, when you look at dead body, what you see is nothing but the power is with Allah. This individual, this person have no power, right? So now, that is in a way achieving that maqam of wilayat in the outward sense. How much time we have? This is in a way that is pointing out to, and it is the manifestation and reflection of that true wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the guardian, He is the wali over everything, that this human being, this insan who thinks of himself of something, have no power at all, right? Now, either one reaches to this maqam of wilayat, and this is actually the maqam of wilayat, right? Because what is wilayat is nearness. It's a type of nearness that what Allah have destined, the body and the human have accepted it. It is that near. If it wasn't near, then it will do what it desires to do. Then that separation is there from that wali, right? So that mirrors actually the true wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That He is the wali and He is the wali. And He has that guardianship over that human being. So now, either it is voluntarily, a person reaches to that potential of truth, or involuntarily, where a person reflects that. Even after that, when it reaches to barzakh, that refining process and reaching to the point where what Allah destines and decide, that should be my desire, that should be my will, and that should be my direction, takes place later on. Now, even in this dunya, as we said, the possibility of a person achieving exists. Now, how is that possible? That a person can reach to that maqam of wilayat. What are those things required for him to become a waliullah? What are those things that he is needed? There are two things, according to the scholars, that they point out to, that is needed for a person to become waliullah. We are talking about wilayat, right? Through which we are trying to understand the concept of imamat as well. As we said, that the best way to understand imamat is actually through wilayat, right? Now, there are two things which is needed for a person to become waliullah. These two realities is ma'rifat and ikhlas. The individual, the insan, should have that ma'rifat. Ma'rifat means understanding, that knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the highest level. Now this ma'rifat, which we'll discuss a little bit later on, we're just going to point out to on a very introductory level, this ma'rifat and ikhlas. Ma'rifat have to do with conceptualization, understanding. Ikhlas have to do with action. Khulus, one may think that, sincerity is with the heart. Yes, sincerity with the heart. But sincerity is with the heart, but must be reflected, must be shown. I may be very mukhlis, very sincere towards Allah or Imam Hussein or to my parents. If I don't show in my action, that is not considered as khulus as such. Yes, it is in the heart, but khulus is action. Ma'rifat is intellectualization. Ma'rifat is understanding, is conceptualization. So you have ma'rifat, two things are needed for a person to become waliullah or to reach to the station and maqam of wilayat, to become a wali, is ma'rifat, and that is understanding and knowledge, and khulus, and that is action. So there should be action, and at the same time having that ma'rifat. So for those who want to embark upon this path, of ma'rifat, of khulus, this is the best month. This is the best month. That we increase our ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we said, that this month is the Shahrullah. This month naturally and automatically increases us the understanding. Our heart expands to know, to conceptualize, and to have knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many names that we take, Ya Ali, Ya Azim, Dua-e-Iftitah, Joshan Kabir, so on and so forth. Like I said, these are the Asma Ilahi, these are the names of Ilahi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Through these names, we try to understand the meaning behind these names. When we understand the meaning behind these names, we start to see these names around us. So this whole creation becomes nothing but play of the names of Allah. It becomes nothing but the manifestations of the names of Allah. One may have that knowledge to understand it and see it. One may not have it, but one is just invoking these names. One is just chanting these names every day till the end of the month of Ramadan. This synchronizes with his tabiyat, with his nature and with his nafs. And when the time comes, it just comes out naturally to really see these names around him. And that is the hour of death. Because he's closer to Allah. When a person is closer to Allah, he will see Allah. The more closer he will see. Then when he is closer, meaning that he's about to depart from this dunya, he's going into the next world. When he's going into the next world, he's coming closer to God. As he comes closer to God, all of these du'as of yours, all of these askar of yours, all of this zikr that you have performed, it is seen in front of your eyes. They become, a place of safety and security for the mu'mineen and mu'minat, right? Because, they say when a person is leaving this dunya, he will be able to do the ziyarat of Masumin alayhi salam. Why? Because he had that khulus and ma'rifat. Because he has that wilayat. Wilayat is nearness, right? So how does wilayat come about? How does nearness come about? Because I have ma'rifat of Ali alayhi salam. Because I have khulus for Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam. Because that's what I did in 19th night and 21st night and 23rd night. This is how I recited ziyarat of Amirul Mu'minin on the day of Ghadir, on the day of Eid, on the day of every special occasion. There's action, which is khulus, and also there's ma'rifat. So what does this bring about? What does ma'rifat and khulus is bringing? Is bringing wilayat. Is bringing me closer. And when I'm physically coming closer to that hour, to that time to leave the world, oh, I see Ali. Because I have ma'rifat and khulus of Ali. Then I will see Ali. Because who is Ali? Ali is waliullah. Ali is somebody who is closest to Allah. So it's very natural. It happens. Naturally it happens. These things lead us in that direction. Takes us in that direction. We start to see these things. We start to feel these things. As we grow older and older, naturally we see these things. When we are younger, we have to understand, conceptualize it, practice it. And once we start practicing it, we start how it unfolds. And it unfolds in the most beautiful way, right? Which gives us that peace and tranquility, that itminan. Ya ayyuhal nafsul mutmainna irja'i ila rabbika radiyatan mardiyah. Oh, that soul that is tranquil, that is at peace, return back to us. So this two realities, which is ma'rifat and khulus, one should not forget. Now, obviously there are discussions in regards to the asalat-e ma'rifat, what is really asl in terms of ma'rifat, and how can one really achieve ma'rifat. What is ma'rifat of nafs, what is ma'rifat of Khuda'ul Mut'al. Is it really possible to have the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and how the wilayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we were talking about the wali, Allah is wali. Why do we call him wali? Because we are talking about ma'rifat, and ma'rifat of Allah brings wilayat. So we should have that ma'rifat of Allah, inshallah, which will look at the samadiyat ilahi, because we say Allahu samad. What does really samad mean? Right? All of these different attributes and concepts of wilayat will be discussed, inshallah. As we said that tomorrow is the Shab-e Zarbat, tomorrow is the eve of the injury of Amirul Mu'minin, and also first night of Qadr. So we will look at these 3 nights, Tafsir Surah Qadr. Tomorrow, day after, till 23rd, we'll focus a bit on the Tafsir of Surah Qadr. And then after that, we'll go back to our discussions of wilayat, inshallah. Because this month, once again, for those who have joined us late, this month is the month of Allah, and the month of Allah cannot be without wilayat. That's why we are reminded of wilayat every day by the names of the Masumin, by the Quran, on our head. Bika ya Allah, bi Muhammad, bi Ali, bi Fatima, all of it's about wilayat. So this month is also a month of understanding wilayat, inshallah. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alayhi tahirin. Ahsantum.
Yeah, it's already time. Requesting Brother Hussain to please come and give azan. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat Allah. The upcoming announcements, as I've been doing it, inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow night is the Zarbat night, and program starts in the evening at 6:45 p.m. with the Qur'anic Circle, followed by Salam and Marsiya, and then the Majlis in English by Maulana Mirza Abbas, followed by Salat Salat al-Maghrib, then the Iftar break, then Salat al-Isha, and inshallah by 9:20 we'll have the evening Sozo Salam Marsiya, followed by the Majlis is English and Urdu, ending with Matamdari, and inshallah after that there'll be a short amal, and then the long amal will be happening at the center. All brothers and sisters are requested to please attend on time. The same program will run on the 21st night also and the 23rd night also. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله، لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآل محمد.
الله أشهد أن علي ولي الله، أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. هيا على الصلاة، هيا على الصلاة، هيا على الفلاح، هيا على الفلاح، هيا على خير العمل، هيا على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه، أستغفر الله من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه، إنه كان غفارا. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر، وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر. ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وقوم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد، الله الصمد، لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربي ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بحول الله وقوته. سبحان الله. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقنا بهم العافية وتمام العافية ودوام العافية، عافية الدين والدنيا والآخرة بحق إطرته الطاهرة. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. تسبيح جناب الزهراء سلام الله عليها.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا ولي يا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم، أنت رب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر نظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور، وهو الشهر الذي فرضت صيام عليه، وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس بينات من الهدى والفرقان، وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خير من 1000 شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك، من علي بفقاك رقبتي من النار فيمن تمن عليه، وادخلنا الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. MOMIN, please recite Surah Fatiha for the for the sponsors Marhumin, and please include mother of Dr. Asad Hussain, who passed away earlier today in Chicago. Her name was Shafa Hussain, daughter of Sajjad Ali Said. And please include all your marhumin, marhumat, and all the Shuhada Islam. استقم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. اللهم صل على محمد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Just a quick announcement of the housekeeping. Please be seated at the sufra, so the volunteers will be serving the iftar plates, and please don't discard those plates since they will be used for the dinner as well. And if you want to continue talking about, please move forward so that the volunteers can put the sufra at the back. Wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Momin Kram, again, just a reminder that our goal of donation is 80,000 to achieve during this month. And inshallah ta'ala, since 2 days, we have been announcing, and Mu'mineen and Mu'minat are supporting and coming forward. We again request brothers and sisters to please come forward and donate generously towards this Ramadan fund. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Bar Muhammad Ali Muhammad Salawat. Allahumma salli. Okay, I like to have few words with MOMIN. It's very important. Please pay attention. And you're going to bear with me because I'm the new program director. I like to have some words with our fundraising director, Mr. Murtuza. Please say Salawat.
Assalamu alaikum, Mu'minin and Mu'minat. Our brother already did some request in English, brother Shahji. So I'm doing something in Urdu. So आप लोग से गुजारिश है कि पहले तो ये कि जो लोगों ने स्पॉन्सर किया है आप उसके लिए, हालांकि आप यकीनन सुफ्रे पे बैठ गए हैं, लेकिन एक सूरह हम पढ़ लीजिए स्पॉन्सर्स के लिए, उनके मरहूमीन के लिए. ये आपसे गुजारिश यही थी कि जो आज प्रोग्राम है और बड़ी रातें भी आ रही हैं, तो उस सिलसिले में आपसे ये है कि जितना आप सपोर्ट करें, जितना आप आ सकें, जितना अटेंड कर सकें और जितना भी आप डोनेट कर सकें, तो ये कि मोमिन के लिए आसान हो जाएगा, मोमिन सेंटर के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए. आपका शुक्रिया. सलावत.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله والله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي ولي الله أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين عليا ولي الله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أشهد أن أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين وأولاد المعصومين حجج الله.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
هيا على الصلاة هيا على الصلاة هيا على الفلاح هيا على الفلاح هيا على خير العمل هيا على خير العمل. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. استغفر الله من كل ذنب وأتوب إليه إنه كان غفارا. الله أكبر
الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر. ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر. تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر. سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقود. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. كذلك الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. إلهي إن حرمتني فمن ذا الذي يرزقني. إلهي إن خذلتني فمن ذا الذي ينصرني. أعوذ بك من غضبك حلول سخطك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وتقبل شفاعته بحول الله وقوته. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر بحول الله وقوته يقوم وقود. سبحان الله. سبحان الله. سبحان الله. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن منادهم. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بنا ما أنت أهله ولا تفعل بنا ما نحن أهله يا أهل التقوى والمغفرة يا أرحم الراحمين بحرمة محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. تسبيح جناب الزهراء سلام الله عليها. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم اغن كل فقير. اللهم اشف كل جائع. اللهم اكس كل عريان. اللهم دين كل مدين. اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اغن عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر، إنك على كل شيء قدير برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Maureen, be seated, inshallah. Maulana will recite Dua-e-Iftitah now.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأغل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أقلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الذل، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه، ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه، ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره، وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده. الباسط بالجود يده الذي لا تنقص خزائنه، ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير ما حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي. أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبطأ عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لئيم منك علي يا رب، إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهد وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإسباق ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادل ولا شبيه يشاكل ولا ظهير يعاضد، قهر بعزته الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمته العظماء فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا عاصي، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفاني، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني علي حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. الحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك العاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأما وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم صل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلف في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا اللهم أعزه وأعزز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا اللهم اظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما قصرنا عنه فبلغنا اللهم المم به شعثنا واشعب به صدعنا وارتق به فتقنا وكثر به قلتنا وأعزز به ذلتنا وأغن به حائلنا واغض به عن مقرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به خلتنا ويسر به عسرنا وبيض به وجوهنا وفك به أسرنا وأنجح به طلبتنا وأنجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا وأعطنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين اشف به صدورنا وأذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا فصل على محمد وآله وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجل وبضر تكشف ونصر تعز وسلطان حق تظهر ورحمة منك تجللنا وعافية منك تلبسنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين صل على محمد وآل
صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله، صلى الله عليك يا نبي الله، صلى الله عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، صلى الله عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، صلى الله عليك يا حسن مجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت، وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله الآخر لأحد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين أولاد الحسين أصحاب الحسين، بالخصوص سيدي ومولاي أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين، وأختك زينب وأم كلثوم وبنتك رقية وسكينة ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام على الحسين وعلي بن الحسين زين العابدين قرة عين الناظرين. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي، يا جعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة القائم المهدي، عجل الله لك فرج وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك والمستشهدين بين يدي ورحمة الله وبركاته.